So Tommy, is that Tommy? Tommy is
This is
training
Tommy.
up Ellie on how to shoot with a rifle, and I was curious: is this shot reasonable? Is it how far was this shot?
Okay.
Oh no,
So you're
this
talking
is
about
a
she makes
this.
this shot on this
Yes, but this is a clip. Let's look
oh
at it. So my question is: given how, when you can hear when she pulls the trigger, you can see when the zombie head pops, so you can calculate how far is this shot. Pop, there it is.
so you're saying
Ellie's having a
from
good time. Look at that.
you hear the sound right at the beginning, and then
Yep.
to the time you see right,
Right to the
right,
to
yeah,
the doink
doink right there.
doink.
So
Yeah,
you
right there.
timed this out, this duration.
Yeah, I measured it
Okay.
in video editing software.
hmm
It was 1 second, 0.07. I
Okay,
guess
hold
that's
on. So here's
milliseconds.
the time is right here, right? 1.07 seconds
Yes.
was the time. Okay.
Yep.
So walk us through this.
Okay. So we look one picture to the right.
Okay.
So that's Ellie and Tommy, and this
hmm
looks like an M1A Springfield. And
Okay.
then I wasn't really sure. I'm not like that expert, so I
hmm
looked it up on the wiki, and yeah, she's shooting an M1A Springfield.
Okay.
This fires a 30 a 308 Winchester, and there's different speeds depending on how much mass, how many grains you want on that bullet. So I took an average, and it was 2750 feet per second.
Okay.
Which in terms of meters per second, because when I do science stuff, I convert that,
hmm
is about 850 meters per second. That's how fast the bullet is leaving outside the muzzle.
Okay.
Now there are effects like wind resistance. It's going to slow down the bullet, but I'm not going to worry about that. I don't know. Let's make it a simple calculation. For reference here, there's a banana. There's that
Okay. Oh,
picture up to the right,
oh, right here.
down. Yep. For reference, this is what we're talking about. These are keychains. They're not real bullets, but real rounds. But the one to the left is a 308. The one in
Okay.
the middle there is a 223. And then there's a banana for scale, just for like a feeling of how big these things are. They're
Okay.
not like high caliber rounds, but they're not pistol rounds. I
hmm
don't know, they're kind of average for rifles. Anyway,
Okay.
calculation. We're physicists. So the distance traveled by the bullet, the position is a function of time. X of t is equal to the speed times the
hmm
time, however long it
Yep.
takes for travel. So 2750 feet per second is about 850 meters per second. Multiply it by that time of flight, the time from when we hear the bang to when the brain goes pop. And so that was a 1 second and 70 milliseconds. So multiply that together, that's 910 meters, which
Okay.
in yards is about 1,000 yards. So this is a 1,000 yard shot.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty
Is
good.
that
Yeah.
reasonable?
Is that a good shot? Is that a reasonable shot for that kind of rifle? I don't know.
I think it's a reasonable shot. It's on the edge of long distance. So it's not the furthest shots, but pretty good. I mean, she doesn't have one of these like designer rifles. I don't know. That's maybe not the right word to say, but it's a battle rifle, and she doesn't have a tripod. She doesn't have the cheek riser. She doesn't have the stabilization stuff, and so
Oh.
I would rate that as a very good shot given what she's got. Is this a reasonable distance given the picture?
So
Thousand
here's
yards.
Ellie. Here's Tommy. And it looks like here are some
I
zombies.
guess. Yes.
Maybe. So
Yeah.
some. I can't tell if those are zombies or trees. Maybe it's
Well,
even
maybe
further.
she's shooting the one on the right there. See that fat blob?
This blob right here.
Because we saw it was eating some type of animal. So maybe that's that
Okay.
fat blob.
That might be. So from here to
1,000 yards.
there.
1,000 yards is 10 football fields.
Sure.
That reasonable
Looks
distance,
reasonable.
I guess.
Looks reasonable.
Kind of hard to
Yeah.
tell from that perspective, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Just yeah, because force perspective like sometimes can bring the background toward
Yeah.
the foreground and make it look shorter. So I have no idea here, but it looks like they're up on a hill and they're looking at the next hill. Could be
I guess
1,000 yards away. Sure.
we can use the telephone poles. Like, see how the one on the left is bigger than the ones in the middle.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the same size poles, but just getting further away. We could
Mhm.
also look at the trees to try to reference it.
Yeah.
If you know what a standard size of a tree is. what a,
Well, and
I'm
these
not
are
a
like
sniper.
baby trees though, right here. Hard to say.
So you go down there at night one day, you cut one down, count the rings, so you know how old its neighbors are. And maybe, I don't know. I'm not a sniper.
If you actually have access to these 2 points, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it'd be easy to just measure it directly almost.
Anyway, yeah, reasonable. reasonable time of flight, good shot.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.